This morning, when we started off, we read from 1 Corinthians chapter 12. My focus at this point will be Psalms 139 and verse 40, and to hear what he says. I want you to listen to this. Some of you might be reading from the King James Version, and those of you will know it because by the time I start the verse, you'll be able to quote the verse. This is how it reads, verse 40. It says, "Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. The workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it." King James Version will say that we are wonderfully and fearfully made. I want to read it again from the New Living Translation. It says, "Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. The workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it." And I will be talking to you today from the ministry that you represent. This is your talk to the rest of us because it is important for us to be able to understand this. So we're talking about World Social Work Day that you'll be celebrating on the 21st. But you've gone ahead to realize that the week in itself will have its own challenges. And with the challenges that the week will have, it's good to start. It's not a religious exercise, and I hope you didn't see it as a religious exercise, but to realize that your battery is going very low. And so you need to top up so that you can face the many challenges. It was already said by the PS, and it was already said by our minister in relation to the challenges. And I like a lot of other people talk about the joint social action because we all must get on board. I said we all must get on board to deal with the matters that are confronting us. We cannot lend blind eyes again to it. We have to be there. In other words, let me tell you that they call you fast. But it's better you're fast and you save a life than you're not fast at all. And we see all of our children just go down the street. So, respecting diversity through joint social action. A couple of things I wish to bring to your attention. I am certain that you will agree with me that we cannot say that we are running out. I think it is proper to say that we have actually run out of respect in Grenada presently. Nobody respects anybody anymore. I don't respect themselves. They don't respect the children. Children don't respect one another. Don't respect the elders. And it's like something foreign when you talk about the respect. But look at this. I know I'm trying to believe the intelligence, but for those of us who have not gone that far, we just want to remind ourselves as to what the word respect means. Because sometimes we take respect, we just say, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, a good night. Now, respect means that you care enough to think about how you impact others. So in other words, you're always putting people before you. Hello? I am having a mentorship program that is on with some of our younger guys who will at least succeed us sometime later in my organization.
There is one in particular who have been experiencing some difficulties and even having some odds. Guess probably how things are done. Out of the many advice, this one stands out because I asked him to go to any one of the places where you live, try and purchase the biggest notebook that you can get. And I said, everything that you see happening to you today that is hurting you, make a note of it. So that when you get in the position of leadership, you will know how to treat people. Because you're hurting and you don't like how they're doing and how they're treating you. But you have a responsibility to lead. Now respect is caring enough to consider how words and action impact others. Having respect is when you feel good about someone because of how they act. Showing respect is when you care how your action impact others. How many of you are familiar with this phrase? I don't care. I don't care what you feel. I don't care. That's their business. And so on. So we're stepping on one another's on and all of this. And I don't care about it. Now, secondly, why respect is important? Why are we stressing on respect? Now, to understand why respect is important, think about what life would be like if we don't treat each other with respect. Since respect is about caring, whether our words and action have a hurtful effect on another person, in a world without respect, no one would care whether they were hurting other people. They might do things that are dangerous, means and not care if other people are harmed. Sad to see. I just spoke about Grenada. Now you cannot deport me because I was born here. And I live here for a time and I've seen some things. Hello? Stay with me. All of us in society need to treat each other with respect. If we want to feel safe and live peacefully together. Respect is important because it means we treat others the way we want to be treated. So if we don't treat others kindly, how can we expect them to be kind in return? Talking about ills in our society? Yes. We are aware of what's happening around. We're just trying to quell something that is taking place right here in St. Patrick, in Mount Craven. And you have Mount Craven and Mount Craven, Upper Mount Craven and Lower Mount Craven. And the guys started with these things, running one another with cutlass, who get chopped and whatever. I remember going home because things started spreading and whatever. Honorable Minister Andel sent a text to me and said, look, I think we need to go into the area trying to organize to meet with them. And I said to him, so thanks for the invitation, but we have already gone into the area. We'll just give you feedback as to what is really happening. So, we attempted. And we have been able to contact both sides. And one of the things that you discover, I said to the young fellas after last night, I said, where it started? And they tell you about the disrespect. Man in the face and in the space. Where do you want it to go? Hello? You're a young man growing up, you ain't know the whole of Grenada yet, but you're trying to fix yourself in a cage with gang violence and all of it, and we have to hear this side, and then you can understand this side of it. What do you want from here? How can we help? Before the police, we are here to reach out to you before the police come to take you. How can we help you? And all of them, they are willing. Let us go forward. One said, tired with this thing about having to watch my back, because, see it is. There was a young fella from right here in Riverside who left here and went down to live in St. George's. He used to be in Grandans Valley. And bad boy, chop all over his body. He had one problem. In Grandans Valley, very rarely he could go to tongue proper. And when he goes to tongue, he's like a sponge ball, because he can't leave his back facing one area long enough. So he had to always exercising. Now you don't want that. But that's the reality as to where we live. So here is the joint thing. So parents, people in the community, we don't have to wait for all of these persons from the social development to come to do that. We live, we see, we hear. We have to come together. You don't look at it and turn your face and tell yourself, well, this is not happening by me. My child is not involved. Little do you know. Your child is being used as bait and you don't even know that. Hello? So the disrespect, man in my space, getting in my face, and whatever, and whatever. Now what is diversity? Having a range of people with various racial, ethnic, socioeconomic, and cultural backgrounds and various lifestyles, experience and interest. Any dimension that can be used to differentiate groups and people from one another. Hello? Are you there with me? Hello? Now, we're going to come to that in a while, but the writer talks about the complexity of man. We have been married for 35 plus years now, and I'm still trying to understand the full complexity of this woman I live with for 35 years. And she has the same challenge, because man is complex. Yeah? How we make up? It's complex. You have emotions. You could just be, and then you just, complex. But that's not you. You're accustomed always in a happy mood. But that's not you. Complexity of man. One will sit down here easy and just get up, and you see the crime that they commit, because man is complex. Still trying to understand. Man, you just watch man, and you look at just man. Man is just complex. Just human being. Just watch your makeup. It's complex. Complex. And you watch some challenges and you see some things and you just look at it. So we're looking at something because we're talking about the diversity. So here is a problem. Here is a problem. My wife always had that challenge. Anytime she heard that there was somebody that is looking like me, she always wanted to see, to get to know who that person is. And really and truly, as much as we look alike here, we are so complex that the police can find you very easily by taking your fingerprint, because we are different. Hello? Different. So we're talking about the complexity. Stay put.
Now, when you look at Psalms 139, the Bible has us to understand, brothers and sisters, because I want to just get to this, because you see, diversity in the workplace means that acceptance and inclusion of employees of all backgrounds. So the reason why you have problem with your co-worker, it is simply because your co-worker is not you. And you have to understand that your co-worker is different. So Monday morning you go to work with a black top, but your co-worker chooses to use an orange top. Hello? Come from different backgrounds. Hello? I'll tell you this. Something you got to learn very quickly, and especially if you're in leadership. When I first became the leader of this organization, as the bishop of this organization, my first month was spent literally almost every night up trying to figure out these 7 other guys that make up the executive that I have to lead. You had on it one with a doctorate, you had this one and this one, but I'm supposed to be leading them, and so on. How many of you know that in every group that you have 4 kinds of people? You have the doer, you have the thinker, you have the relator, and you have the influencer. And all of us must come together to get it done. The doer needs the thinker. Because if you come in a place like this and you say, we are going to Carriacou now, the doer rise up and said, yes. But the doer is not asking how, but the thinker stands and says, hold on a bit. Now, what are we going with? Boat, plane, bicycle? What are we going with? Not only that. You might be the leader of a department, but there are people that may be working with you, might be under you, and they have more influence than you in certain areas. Are you hearing me, brothers and sisters? So we have to understand that. So there is diversity in the workplace. So I would sit down and I study the guys. After the first month, I said, bingo. Because I got it. So every time I had a decision to make, and it had to go to a vote, I could tell you the night before if it is going to pass. So I sit down there and I go into the meeting and I say yes. This one will say yes. This one will say yes. This one. So 4 against. Hello? But look what we fight over, you know. How complex we are. Hello? We are so complex that we are still learning after 35 years. Still learning. As a team, still learning. Still learning. Because I cannot understand how you could just come to church and just pick blue and just keep bawling blue all the time. And you're supposed to be the pastor's wife in the church. You understand, sir? And blue winning, and you're supposed to be neutral. Yeah. And then we had a road race yesterday, and all you were doing just clapping by the side, and them. Didn't run a stroke. Hello? And having said it, let me tell you, the only reason I didn't come in the first three is because I didn't come up with my spikes. If I did come with my spikes in the road race, you don't know what would happen. They don't catch me. Forget my spikes. Huh? So here is diversity in the workplace. We have to learn that. You have to know the people that you are working with. You need to appreciate them. Let me tell you this. I don't have passions for writing books. A lot of persons encouraging me to that. I don't really have passion, but lately, when I realize that I'm getting closer to the other side, I feel that there are 2 books that I must write on leadership. And I started something with one. I have the skeleton home. And I'm looking at leadership from the standpoint of rearing animals. There was a time when I had up to about 11 goats. And pastors will ask me, well, how are you doing this? What happened on this? You have all of this to be doing about the goat. Because I tell you the truth, if I'm going to be an effective leader, I need to learn the behavioral pattern of people that you deal with and learn to appreciate one another. Out of the 11 goats that I had, now if I go and I cut the feeding for them and I come and I throw it on the ground, a few would eat it. And the others that will stand up, because the others that will stand up, they're not going to eat it from the ground. You must tie it up for them to eat it. Then there is one in particular, never drank water. I don't know how it survived. Giving it water all the time, never. How do you understand people telling you, I don't like water, doesn't drink water? Then there is another one that gave birth to the young one. Every time it gave birth, he refuses to nurse the young one. How could you understand a young lady would have gone through all of this, carries this for 9 long months, and after giving birth, just abandon the child? And then I left the state and I was out of state. I asked a young fella from the community to look after it for me. While I was out of state, I called him and said, you're getting through. He said, we're having real difficulties. To do what? He said, I'm having difficulties to get them from home to go down the hill. And I said, I could tell you what you didn't do. He said, I did everything. I said, no, I'll tell you what you did not do. And I said, what you did not do is that you did not hold the white one. Because the white one is a leader. If you hold the white one and you walk with it, all the others follow. And then there is a big ram that I say, well, this one is for the white birthday at some time. Big ram. Take the ram, tie it out and all of that. And you know, when you tie a ram there, because it's a rammery, you want to prove that it's a ram. And whatever, it goes wrong and wrong and wrong. Tie up itself. And here's a ram tying itself close to its throat. And it's almost choking. And I'm coming there. The ram is helpless. Can't even help itself. Cannot untie it. Take my cutlass. Cut the rope. What you think the first thing the ram will do? Turn around and put me. How do you understand that the same people you help in life are the same people that turn around and slap you? So I'm writing that book. It'll come out. Make sure you purchase. As a matter of fact, before I start, let me take a deposit on it to get the But I want to write a book, seriously, entitled Leadership from the Standpoint of Rearing Animals. 2, I want to write. And the second one has to do with leadership, finishing well. Too many leaders don't finish well. They go through their life, but they're so disgruntled and grumbling over everything. The same organization, the same church, wherever they work, the same school, they serve for years as a principal, brothers and sisters, when they should be going home gracefully, giving God praise, thanks, with a smile on their face. They're only grumbling over everything. They're vexed with everybody in that company. Finish well, man. Are you hearing me? Finish well. Finish well. Finish well. Bust the rope, man, with your chest with a smile. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. So we have to learn that to appreciate one another. Everybody don't have the same style. When I'm writing like this. I hold my pen like this. I see others putting the pen inside here. We diverse. So we got to appreciate one another, how people go about things. And you come and you talk about, and what you think that we have problem? You know, some of you sit down here today, and if it was you that had to put the flowers, you'd have put this one across there, and I put that one here. Because you're diverse from the person who did that. The person that put it here want to put this one here and put the other one there. You go fret over that? Eh? That alone is confusion, you know. For what? Hello? For what? Diverse. And we have to be able to learn to appreciate. Let me move on very quickly because I believe it is important. Now, you cannot talk about diversity and you cannot talk about anthropology. Because it is more or less the exploration of human diversity. Anthropology is the study of what makes us human. What makes us human? We think differently. What really makes you a human? Think about it. What makes you a human? Here is a challenge that I have. I think I said it in this church, and up to date, I have problem. I can play almost every ball game. All right? I can play almost every ball game. I sat down now for years and I tried to come up with a definition for a ball. And up to date, I have not yet come up with a definition for a ball. If you have that, please give me. I would want to know that before I die. What is the definition of a ball? A round thing with air in it. Why not a balloon? Then the golf is called a ball, but does not air. All right? So what is a ball? Hello? So what makes you a human? But there's something, you discover some things about us that make us human, and you're just grateful. You just have to give God thanks because you don't even understand your own self. Any one of you ever sit down and really laugh yourself? You've done something and you just sit down and you laugh? One day I going out and I left the house and I'm thinking I have my shoe outside. I know I had my socks. I'm looking for my socks to put in the shoe and I'm looking for it. I can't find it. I did almost everything I searched all about. I said, where did I put these socks? And I decided to go back into the room again one more time. So when I'm going back in the room now and I watch in the mirror, I see the socks on my shoulder. I said, what? I didn't wait for anybody to start laughing. I had to laugh for myself. And I just enjoy it. Hello? What makes you a human? The ability to empathize, sympathize with somebody. Because God gave us emotions as gifts. Hello? Hello? And I'm coming to this, because you see where you work, particularly in dealing with social issues and so on, you got to be very proud about yourself. You don't have to wait until anybody tell you anything about you. You have to wake up in the morning and tell yourself who you are and walk with a sense of purpose. Because everybody will belittle you. Hello? So anthropology is the scientific study of humanity, concerns with human behavior, human biology, the cultures, societies, linguistic, in both the present and past, including past human species. Hello? Why is anthropology important? Anthropology provides the possibility to study every aspect of human existence. It is the window into the unknown. Anthropology provides the answer to our questions about ourselves, our past, present, and future. Anthropology helps to connect everyone from around the globe. Now, watch this. If you take a child from Grenada and you take a child to any part of the world, be it Africa, be it Australia, wherever, somewhere in the Middle East, the child you take from Grenada may not be able to speak the language or the dialect that they are speaking there, but one thing that is common, they would play. They would play. Because it's a natural thing. And look at things that connect us across the globe. And it's because of how the Lord has made us. And so we want to appreciate it. But here, brothers and sisters, because here is it as we try to come in with it. Now, point to note. Now, I like the theme that is chosen. Hello? What your theme says? Respect. Respecting diversity is through joint social action. But point to note. You need to hear what the international theme is saying, and you also need to hear what the theme is not saying. Hello? Perchance, there is an agenda within the agenda. Hello? Now, you didn't come up with this, in Grenada. This was chosen and given to us to celebrate under. What is the agenda within the agenda? So, you're not seeing properly? Take your glasses. Read it again. Respecting diversity through joint social action. So you need to hear what the international theme is saying and hear what it is not saying. Perchance there is an agenda within the agenda. Note, brothers and sisters, note, folks, diversity in the workplace means acceptance and inclusion of employees of all background. Note well, pay attention, because there is a difference between the acceptance of the employees and the acceptance of the baggage. Because there's some baggage that you have to leave on the outside. Because there is an agenda. Hello? I was in my garden one day, a fellow walked in with his child and had oranges and they were bearing. He looked at me and I guess I don't pick up very early that he came for his. But he met me, so he asked me, that was proper. He asked me, he said, Pastor, could you give me 2 oranges to make juice for the child? I said, no problem. He was in the garden already. So he said to me, anyhow, I'll come back for it. And from the time he said that, the antennas went up. All right? So he went in the garden later because he has my permission now. But he didn't tell them it's 2 he asked me for. So he went in the bag and he filled the bag. And he came out later. The guys told me, say, look, we see the man come out there. I said, no problem. I'll give him permission. So after that, he came back again and he asked me. I said, well, the amount you took from the 2 I gave you, that could last you for a couple of years. So don't come back now. You know? So you have to hear. Another day I was in my garden picking peas. And while I'm picking peas, I cracked. When I check, I see a young fella walk into my garden. And he broke the cane. And he walked in back out. So I made myself visible. And I said, hey. And he said, hello. He stand up. I said, what now? He said, sorry. My response was, now what you sorry for? You sorry because you broke the cane? Or you sorry because I catch you? And he stood up in the garden. Now he can't tell me why he told me sorry. I didn't have a problem with that. I said, man, when I planted cane, I had people in mind. So if you're passing and you want a cane, here or no, my problem with you, you step on the others to cut the one you want. If everybody was doing that, you wouldn't get the one. So next time you're passing, if I'm there, fine, you ask. If I'm not there, and you want a cane, take a cutlass and cut it. And you see the piece on top here, I don't know if you know how they call it, but just cut it out and just juke it. And they call that the head. It might grow. Hello? Now, hear this now. Hear this. What is good for us to extend our hands to people, even family members in your home? You have to be very careful as to the kind of baggages that they come with. You have to say to them, you cannot enter my house with this baggage. Hello? Somebody will come in your place and break up your family for you without you realizing that, because you allow them to come with certain baggage. Your rule in your house is your rule in your house. that you take years to develop. And if you're not very careful and you're not watchful, hello? So it's important for us to be able to pay attention, because there is a difference between the acceptance. You see, now the enemy is so subtle. I respect you because this is your choice. We are working in the same place. But what I want you to know is that I subscribe to the teachings of the Holy Scriptures. And if you cross the line, then we have problems. I cannot accept your baggage. And even today, we have to stand up, brothers and sisters. Yes, because I'm going to talk about, we're not here to discriminate, but it seemed to me that only one set of people that are considered to be discriminating. Another said do everything else. They're not discriminating. Once you stand up. You know, just holding this in your hand. I was so grateful the other day for that person who got the vision and come and gave almost every Grenadian a copy of Bible in the hand. Because in the wake of all of this, you know what is happening? They are trying to get persons to stand with them to get rid of this book. Now, every time you open the page, you know why people don't read this book? Every time they open the pages of this book, the flashlight is shining straight on people. And they hate this book. Hello? So they're trying to see how they can get persons now to call this old-time-ish. And what is old-time-ish? Why are you bothering you? Paul said, I'm not afraid of the shame of the gospel. It is the power of God. And that's why we've been looking at it. And Paul tells Timothy, he said, preach the word. Be instant, in season, out of season. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrines. Hello? Are you aware now that it will be a crime just now to say, chairman, and so on? So they're trying to get rid of man. They're trying to rewrite the dictionary and get rid of man. So the whole drive is to get rid of man. So certain words that have man in it, like a mandate, they want to get rid of man. I don't know how they'll call it. Whatever. It reminds me of my daughter when she was just small, and she came to us one day and she said to us, Daddy, you know that thing that they're saying Sunday night and Monday night and Tuesday night and that thing wrong. So you mean it wrong? So you mean you just come into the world? No, Daddy, it's wrong. So I said, when you say it's wrong, what do you mean? She said, no. I said, what it should be? And she said, well, after it cannot be day night, Sunday night. So I said, what it should be? She said, it should be Sun night, Mon night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. Hello? But there is a reason behind this. And we have to put on our glasses to see where the thing is going, because you see there are some people that they are in strategic positions to get the agenda out. Hello. Because you see, we run into a problem in this world already. Amen. You don't see what's happening. Watch. Carrick participated in the primary school sports. They could have hardly find children under 15 to run. They don't have that age group. Hello? And just a few ladies in St. Patrick's here that have plenty of children. The majority in half. I smart, I only have one, and I call it We Three Kings. Hello? Are you hearing me? Are you with me? No, follow, because you see, you come under this because this is where your bread and butter come from. And at some point in your life, you would have to take a decision, and to be able to stand, you have to stand for something. But I guarantee you, if you go with the crowd, the flood will flood you out. But I guarantee you, if you stand for God, history has proven that God has never disappointed his own. He is always on time, even if at the 99th hour. Somebody got to be bold enough to stand the ground. So they're changing the word, and they're getting this and getting this. So they're getting rid of man. But I told you some time ago, you can't get rid of man, really. They could try. They can't get rid of. And you can't get rid of us, females. And you can't get rid of us. When you're having your monthly thing, we're still in it because it's menstruation. And when you pass that journey, we're still there because it's menopause. So we're there with you all. Are you hearing me? We're still there. So I don't know how they will call it. Check out men out of it and see how they will call it. And see if it will make sense. Right? You see, be very careful with the fermentation in the bag. There is something in the bag. And if you allow certain people to come into your house and to accept the baggage, it will ferment sometime, and it's going to create some problems. Got to stand our grounds. Point to note, because you got to pay attention to this. And I'm not talking about any discrimination, and I'm coming to close. No discrimination. The Bible answer the racism answer to racism is found in Acts chapter 17 and verse 26. What he says: for one man had made all nations that they should inhabit the whole earth, and he marked out the appointed time in history and the boundaries of the land. When I read this last night, I read it before, I read it last night, I read it this morning, and I just wanted to shout and scream. And I'm saying, why am I fighting and fussing? Brothers and sisters, the Bible said that we should inhabit the whole earth. And he marked out your appointed time in history, so nobody could stop you. Nobody. Amen, brothers and sisters, because God has already marked it out for you. So say to your neighbor, you could do, go by Miss whoever, but you can't stop me. Just red lavender. It doesn't matter what you do. It just can't stop me, because I am in the hand of the Lord. Come on, somebody. And you're not fencing me out, because if God says an acre is my land, I'm not settling, brothers and sisters, for just quarter. I'm going to walk, and I'm going to walk in it, because God made a promise. You have something to rejoice. Yeah? He marked the appointed time in history and the boundaries of the land. Possessed, man. Yeah? And watch this. God did this so that they would seek him and perhaps reach out for him and find him, though he is not far from any one of us. There is really one race, brothers and sisters. There is only one race. There is really one race. And the word race is not in the Bible. There is only one race. And that is, if you want to call it, is the human race. We don't have many races. We have many nations. But one race, the human race, one blood. So I asked, what's the fight and the fuss and the hatred and the malice and the grudge when it's one blood? All of us came from one parent. We came, brothers and sisters, we came from Adam. And we have to understand this. What's the fight? What's the grudge? Allow your sister to enjoy what God is blessing her. And if perchance you have the opportunity, just say, darling, let me give you a helping hand. Can I help you raise this from here and pack it up there? Because you see, if you are blessed, then I am blessed. And if you are able to rejoice, then I am able to rejoice. Very quickly, one race, if there is anything. Because nations are used. One blood. One blood. One blood. We all came from Adam. That's where we came from. I told you this. That's what the young lady said to me some time ago. Pastor King, any man from St. Andrew come right back to go back to St. John's, ask me in love. I'm not going to answer, because the last guy I started a relationship with, I realized we were related. Because I'm related to this Smith, I related to this, and I related to the other. One blood. Many years ago when the gang thing started with the Bloods and them fellas and all them kind of thing, and the fellas with the ginger crew and whatever, and the young fella got stabbed by the tunnel and so on. After he would have done that and he stabbed the young fella, and the fella held onto the rail and whatever, and the fella collapsed. The young man got up and he ran back to St. David. And he ran back to St. David's now and get back home to tell his mother, Mom, this is what happened. I killed a man down there, and he had the shock of his life apart from killing the man. When his mama said to him, are you realized? She said, I heard it, but are you aware that the young man you stabbed, that you are related? And then he started screaming louder. Kill his own blood. Sat down with those fellas down in Foxing over 4 hours trying to put peace and all this kind of thing. The guys were not enemies, but they're fighting and tearing one another apart, and they had territories. Fella was born in Fontenoy. He moved out from Fontenoy because of the Bloods and the Crips. Moved out from Fontenoy, go to Grand Mall, because you had Bloods in Fontenoy. So you go over to Grand Mall. Can't even pass on a bus to go down to St. George. Look where the tongue is. Can't even pass. After 2 years passed and so on, and peace came. When he came back to Fontenoy, he's asking the people, what building is this? They built a community center. He had no idea that they built a community center. Are you hearing me? For stupidness hiding. Oh, God help us. Somebody got to rise up. You see, somebody got to be bold enough to stand toe to toe with the devil. Some mother got to be thing enough to say, hey, no, I'm going to strangle the devil today. You ain't taking my little boy that I carry all these months. I'm not allowing you, Satan. A mother got to get serious and say, I'm going for my daughter. I'm going for my son. I'm not going to destroy you. You hear me, somebody? Somebody gotta get radical. In Grenada, we gotta stand. We gotta join with the social workers, join with the police force, and say we are in this together. Together we are stronger, and we are taking back what the devil has stolen, our peace. Watch this. St. Lucia calling for regional forces now to come to St. Lucia. I've been to St. Lucia. I used to walk through Vieux-Fort. Huh? Now you have to close down schools because of the young fellas in the teens, early 20s. They're just losing their lives. Hello? And we know that. And some of us know what's happening in our communities. But we don't want this place to come like this that we cannot walk. We had to fight long and hard when we had the gang problem because we had some major problems that came out of the gang problem. One of the major problems that most of the fellas that we had in Grenada, they used to call them clocks because they started having long and short hand. They start chopping out hand. Are you hearing me? Then secondly, you had guys who come territories. We had some here, they call them what? Juice. And want to tell people what truth they should wear to come here. When I was involved in the school as the president of the PTA, we had a problem. One young fella left his home. Every day he's going to school. He has to go with 2 scarves. Because where he is living, there are bloods. So when he leave home, put it in his pocket, and he's flying his blood collar. But the next village is Crips, so he has to have another blue one to hide the red one and put it out in his pocket to pass. That's a task. Every day, your child, my child, our children have to go through. We cannot sit back and watch the devil destroy, molest, handle our children. We got to rise up and we got to take action. Are you hearing me? I remember the then NDC, the one before, when we had the problem with the gangs. I got called home. They asked me to, they called me that they're having candlelight vigil. Fellas chopping one another. They're calling me to come and have candlelight. To go where? We going and light candle. Are you hearing me? I'm going like some crazy mad people. I am a mosquito to walk around and sing. Only mosquito I get applause whether they sing good or they don't sing good. Are you hearing me, somebody? Because every time they come, you must walk around. And I said to them, I said, no, I ain't taking part of this. I want to be part of the action. Are you hearing me, somebody? I don't want to be walking around the problem. I want to get into the problem to find out. And that's what we got to do. A lot of people just want to walk around the problem and light candles or what? You think they're going to graduation? Are you hearing me? Graduation, you light candle and walk out. What's the song they'll sing about your light? Amen, brothers and sisters. This is war. Somebody got to put on the breastplate of righteousness. Take the sword, stand up and say, Satan, we are coming for what you have stolen from us. Yes, give up now. We are ready for our possessions. Come on, somebody, give him some praise. Somebody let the devil get nervous. Let us send a message to hell. Let the devil get nervous. Let him know that there are some people who are willing to stand, and we are not going down like this. We're going to fight until, come on somebody, God got an army that is marching through this land. Deliverance is the song. Healing. Somebody just give him praise. I just get excited. I feel like running and screaming. Just give him God the praise. He deserves it. Very quickly. What were they created for us? Anthropologists generally classify people into fairly small number of main racial groups, such as, you know, nobody, Caucasian, Caucasoid, Europeans are white, Mongoloid, Chinese, and the American Indians, and you have Negroid, Black Africans, and the Australoid, the Australians, the Aborigines. Within each classification, there may be many different subgroups, but one blood. One blood. Say one blood. One blood. And if there is any race, one race. And that is the human race. Many nations come out of the one race. And I feel I'm in war. We bring it in, brothers and sisters. Many skeptics have claimed that for Cain to find a wife, there must have been other races of people on the earth who are not descendants of Adam and Eve. Some claim that the passage in Genesis 4:16 and 17 meant that Cain went to the land of Nod and found a wife. The passage does not say that Cain went to the land of Nod. People always ask that, where did Cain find his wife? As though it's a tricky question. Where did Cain find his wife and all this kind of thing? The Bible did not say that Cain find his wife in the land of Nod. Read your Bible. Hello? Cain was already married, living in the land of Nod. Nod was east of Eden. The Bible said, not Cain found his wife. The Bible said Cain knew his wife in the land of Nod, and she conceived. The word knew was the word that was used for sexual intercourse. So he had sexual intercourse with her. He didn't found her there. He knew her in the land of Nod, and she conceived, and she bare him. Hello? The joint social action, that's where we bring it in. 1 Corinthians chapter 12. If you see verse 12, he talks about every one of us have our part to play. Each one has a specific function that is necessary for the work. Hello? Each of us have a specific function. Right? I have a car. We bought it from Huggins. If the car giving problem in the yard, we call Huggins to come and check it out. I know nothing about it. Hello? To play mechanic. I call the expert. Quick time, they come, they do whatever they have to do. I say, you done? They say yes. How much? And that's it. And one of the reasons I go to the dealers, because with all respect to some of the other mechanics, they always will tell you sorry. All right? You have a little problem with your bulb, and you have to test drive to see if the bulb good. If you understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. You go for it, you can't see somebody went and test drive with the bulb, you know. Right? Now, each of us have a part to play in this thing, you know. And those of you, wherever you are, don't let nobody belittle you. And the first thing you have to do is to, first of all, appreciate you as an individual. I have already concluded nobody could ever belittle me, because the most important person in the world is this gentleman here. Hello? Whether she tell me that or she ain't tell me that, she'd have to tell me that because she ain't live in the house. We get together. Hello? Now you have to come to that place to appreciate. I'm not talking about walking with pride, you know. If you don't appreciate, because you see, the thing about it is, I remember some time ago we were in a place and we were doing a little exercise. And if they give us things and they ask us, tell us 3 people that you love the most. You know what happened? Most of us put mommy, daddy, husband, wife, and up to now ourselves not on the list. I am doing weddings, I'm doing premarital counseling, I get out of the couple what I want to get from them. Because I get them to understand that very early. And I put my questions in such a way that I get from them what is it, what it is. And I try to get them to have a proper self-image about themselves. If you don't have that, you break down and everybody will make you. A lady got married to a man, she was so intelligent, has a degree, and she was writing a book. She lived with this man for 10 years, and for 10 years, all she heard, you stupid, you stupid. She heard it so many times that she literally accepted that she was stupid. Until things collapsed, and then she realized, no, I'm not stupid. By the time you really get stupid now, by 10 years. Hello, somebody. Now, you have to be able to do this, you know, because if you don't do that, you can't help people, you know. If you don't appreciate you cannot help people, and your task is basically to help others. And you've got to be able to help others. And then these folks that we want to cover from where they are, they must be able to find positive examples to look up to. And the parts are different for a purpose. You are in this thing for a purpose. Your part that you play is totally different from somebody else. And please do that. In your differences, you must work. You must work together. There was this that I just wanted to bring to us. Just put back the slide for me, please. Thanks. Just wanted to get this this is what I wanted to just close. And I don't know how he got where he got there. He's supposed to be last. But these things, yes, this is what I wanted to just close with. Now, I want to read this for you because when you leave here today, you need to understand this. It's amazing what God has done for us. Because I'm certain that all of us inside here, I'm certain that all of us inside here came from backgrounds where we knew hunger and difficult times. Some of us come from deep poverty. Hello? We have this young man here. Stand up, Justin, again. Stand up because he's a living testimony. Stand up. Those of you in front, just watch this young man. This man was called all kind of names when he was growing up. Suffered all kind of abuse. He was called Black Tourist. All kind of names. He slept by the seaside, by the bay. The people who took him in, there is a time on their place, and they beat him. They arrested, they beat him. Never had the opportunity to go to school. I'm telling you, I'm not embarrassing him. We had him testifying last week. We had men gathering. This man came from nothing, as a matter of fact. From all the abuse and everything that he went through, everything that was done to him. You talk about trample upon and do all of this. Somebody not no sense of purpose. Nothing like this. Brothers and sisters, he couldn't do anything because that's what it is. Today, how could a young man who went through all of this rise up today and have a business, a tire place, that he's now selling tires, that the name of the business is from nothing to something? And he made no bones about it because he testified and shared with us. Even last week, I knew him because we grew up together downstairs. He's younger, but saw the troubles. Up to this point, he has his business. Cannot read and write. His right hand is a lady that is sitting next to him on the left side. Told us the most he could do is to sell tires, count his money, but nothing else. It must be that God is a good God. Somebody just give him praise. Oh, somebody said, if you do it for Justin, God, do it for me. Love you, brother. Last week, we had men coming together. We had a couple of men testifying. If a pin fell on the floor, you could have heard it. I came from this background. God did it. I know some of you there, you know. That's where you are. Because you call names, you were bullied, you were ostracized, you were criticized. They still look at you in a particular way, and you don't even know where you stand. But this is an opportunity to appreciate Psalms 130. Let me just read it for you very quickly, and hear what it says. Thank you for making me wonderfully complex. Somebody appreciate that. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. I just want to thank you. Call me names, but I am me. Nobody like me. Yes, I am complex, but God has made me like this. Secondly, he says, your workmanship is marvelous. Oh, God. If one of the brothers was here quickly, I would have get them. There's a mirror that lie down inside. I would get it to just get you to just have a look at it and just say, are you hearing me? This lady always say to me, oh, you're full of yourself. Some morning I get up and I just go by the mirror and I just watching Dave King and I enjoying Dave King. Are you hearing me, somebody? You know, sir? I love Dave King. Are you hearing me, somebody? I came from background. How many of you know trouble? How many of you know struggle? How many of you know coming from school and you had nothing to eat? How many of you know running without anything? Amen, somebody. Now, God, somebody just want to testify. I wish you'll testify and just lift your hands and punch the air and say, look what the Lord has done. He has taken me from the guttermost. He has placed me on the uppermost. And I'm here to tell you, this is not my destination, because God is taking me to a place that I have never been, and no devil in hell is able to stop it. I am not the tail, I am the head. I am not the borrower, I am the lender. I am more than a conqueror through Christ. Come on, somebody. Hallelujah. The minister said this week on Tuesday is a time for you for self. Pamper yourself. Pamper yourself, man. It's only his last days I haven't been by Navana and them. I'm just going to lie down and I say, I'm tired. Could you have a worker there just come and just take care of me? Lie down. Take this back towel, pull over you. Are you hearing me? Every time I get up, I'm always saying, are they waking me up too early because I just feel, you know what I mean? You know, just. Hello, somebody. You go sting there about this kind of thing. God has been blessing you, still fighting up with soccer bag. What? Just move from this snow ice. Move a little higher now. Take a day pass. If you don't do that, who will do it for you? Take a day pass. Go and sit down. Huh? Yet I went to St. Kitts. When I went to St. Kitts, I was in a room. The room had 2 beds. The first night I lie down on this bed. I stretch out. Next night I go and lie down on the other bed. The third night I pull them closer, I lie down on this bed, and I stretch the feet across. I say, oh Lord, watch Dave King. Somebody hear me? Somebody hate you vex for that? Well, that's your problem, because, are you hearing me, somebody? If the enemy want to vex, let the enemy vex. You know where you come from. You just give the Lord some praise, and you just give the Lord some thanks. Come on, brothers and sisters, because greatness is locked up inside of you. Very quickly, hear what the writer says. He said, you watched me as I was being formed. Huh? In outer seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book before. Every moment was laid out before a single day has passed. How precious are your thoughts about me, O God. They cannot be numbered. Is there anybody who will feel encouraged to go back in the office tomorrow and walk in with a sense of purpose? Hello? I'm ready to face tomorrow. How about you? How about you? We want to say to you, you workers, you're not alone in this. You can call on us. And I'll tell you what we're doing, Sister Foster, PS and Honorable Telesford. I've accepted the responsibility to do work with the men. And first of all, we called men together last week. We had a great coming together. And one of the purpose and the plan of this, once we get it moving, because we're already moving, is to be able to work with some of the schools. So we'll talk with the principals and say to them, let Wednesday or Thursday or Friday be a day when men will just come in and sit down and just chat with the boys in your school, because they need the father figures. So tell yourself, you have our support. You have our support. You have our support. We got to work together in this thing. We're going to bring this nation where God wants this nation to be. But all of us must get on board. So I challenge us today. Let us don't discriminate. Let us appreciate one another. Let us appreciate one another. Let us appreciate one another. Don't discriminate. Let us appreciate one another because we are not the same. We are all different. But because we are different, we are going to do this. Watch this. That's the palm. Each of them have the function. And you can use your palm to picture anything that you want in this life, this year. I could use it in the church as the ministries, because what we read earlier talked about ministry. Hello? So, this here in the church, this fella here, the thumb, is considered to be the apostle. So you could use it that way. Hello? Then you have the pastor here. And then you have the prophet, the middle one. You see how he's taller than the others? The prophet sees ahead everybody. And you have the teacher. And if you watch a little one like me, when you do that, some little finger don't come in and close at all. That's the evangelist that always want to go out and preach. Want to go and tell others about the goodness of Almighty God. Hello? He's a great God. We want to challenge you and we want to bless you today in letting you know that you're involved in something great. Don't let nobody belittle you. You may see it as though you're not doing much. I always used to tell my wife, because she has been a teacher, been in the educational system for a lot of years, 40 plus years as a school teacher, and I always used to say to her, darling, your satisfaction will not come from the ministry of education. It will not come from your principal. It may not come from your staff. But your satisfaction will come from the people that you drain yourself in. All right? She cannot stop. She not, gifts continue to come from persons. There are those who even turn and say to her, Miss, when I was in school, I didn't like you, but I realized you had my interest at heart. Today I am married, and this is the one to contribute. I'm helping her drink malts and do all kinds of things because she would have communicated, brothers and sisters, and touched the lives of people. And you don't know the people that you're touching really. You're going to help a young man. You're going to help a young man that will not go to prison, and you say, Miss, sometime later you're going to come to you. Because everybody else will criticize you, but he come to you, walk up to you and say, Miss, you remember me? And when you say to him, no, I don't remember. You say, remember that little boy that was there, that little boy that was so. It's only because you spoke to me, I had a change of heart, and this is who I am today. Be encouraged. This church continues to pray for you, and we'll continue to pray for you, because we know what you are involved in.